So, Deshaun Paris, how accessible are guns to youth in urban communities? I mean, is it something easy they could obtain, or is it something they have to work hard to get? What is your take on that?
Guns are very accessible to the youth in the urban community. I mean, you think about how easy it is for, youth to engage in underage drinking, going into liquor stores and getting, or having someone go into liquor stores and purchasing alcohol for them. The same way, it's all about who you know. But it's so easy. It's so easy. I mean, things aren't like it was, when I grew up. Things are a lot worse. I mean, everything's accessible. I don't care what it is, whether it's drugs, whether it's guns. Everything's so accessible to the urban youth. It's sickening.
So, knowing that we have state gun laws, I mean, do you think they even know about the laws, or do they care? What is your take on that? How do you feel about urban youth and the gun laws in the state of Massachusetts?
Sad to say, but I don't think they care too much. I mean, you got to think about it. It's like, they don't weigh out, what the situations are. They're kids. I mean, granted they're youth, which means young adults, but in my mind they're still kids. And what do kids do? They react first, they think later. And I feel that unfortunately, a lot of the urban youth fall captive to that mindset. They don't care at all. They don't care. Not when it comes to laws and guns. In their mind, you haven't done anything wrong. You haven't completed a crime until you shot someone. Or shot at someone. But just getting one, in their mind, they have their own views. It's like, okay, some get it for protection. Some get it because they're followers. Some go and get them because, they were bullied, most of their young life. And they feel like it's time to make a change. They all have their own individual reasons and why they do those, why I would actually purchase a gun. But, I mean, like, for the most part, do they care about laws when they purchase these guns? No.
So, would you say they care about dodging bullets? What is it that they care about when they purchase these guns? Is it their safety? Like, I recall you saying that safety was a big issue.
Safety is a huge issue. I mean, you got to think about it. Growing up in an urban community, a lot of, you think about the different things that are happening a lot in the urban community. Kids growing up without fathers, without that proper direction in which way they should actually steer their life. I mean, you got things like that happening all the time. You got situations like that, should I say, happening all the time. So a lot of it's direction as well. One is safety because they feel they need to be safe in the neighborhood they're growing up in. Mm-hmm. But direction is a big thing. I believe that if in fact, if a lot of these young men and young women had, these positive role models in their life, then they wouldn't fall captive to a lot of these situations. They wouldn't feel like they need to protect anyone. I know I'm a father. My kids are gonna feel well protected no matter what neighborhood they grow up in. You know why? Because they got both their parents. In reality, I feel a lot of parents aren't doing the job they should do. You should be Superman. I should be Superman to my son and my daughter. They should feel like bullets bounce off them because I'm there. Why? I mean, they should never feel like, I need a gun, to feel safe. So like I said, a lot of it has to do with direction. A lot of kids not feeling safe, but yeah, I mean, that's my take on that.
So, what do you think is behind the violence among youth from different, gangs, or And you don't even have to be a part of the gang. So why do you think they kind of like use their violence, gun violence in particular, against one another? What's behind that?
Lack of education.
Okay.
I feel that if they're educated on what, we've been through, as an African American people, besides just the average things they talk about in schools with Martin Luther King, a little bit about Malcolm X, which they don't really get too much on him because he was raw and uncut. But I mean, if they were educated on the things that we've been through and our struggles, the last thing they would ever think about is, shooting one another. You think about that, it's like we're people that need to, draw together. We're people who have drawn together in the past. I don't know where things went wrong. I mean, but yeah, like I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, these kids need direction. They need direction. They need to obtain this knowledge that we withhold as being their superiors. Letting them know something. I'm sorry, but a lot of us, men and women, as adults, take a lot of blame. Or we should take a lot of blame. For our kids' lack of education. Instead of reading these books to them and breaking things down, our kids are watching TV and playing video games. Where's the education part? I want to try to educate my kids on their heritage and where they came from, as much as I can, while they don't have a choice. When you're a kid and you're a youth or whatever, a lot of things you do, because it was open to you, because you didn't have a curfew, because you wasn't told to shut the freaking TV off and read a book, So I feel we take a lot of blame for that too, for our kids' lack of knowledge in those areas.
Thank you so much, Deshaun Paris, for that wonderful interview.
You're welcome. I hope that my answers would impact someone. Looking at it, if people would actually agree to my views. I mean, this is just once again, everyone. This is Deshaun's views on those questions. I mean, you can have another view, which is totally different from mine, and it will be respected. I hope mine is respected. Thank you.